Most of you probably have a facial cleanser and moisturizer already, so I want to tell you about Shield and Slay DP, which is an anti-pollution hydration spray I formulated specifically for my skincare line, Serve Labs. This is actually a product I've been looking for years now and haven't been able to find on the market, which is something that was a hydration spray but also has anti-pollution, antioxidant properties for your skin. Shield and Slay DP is the ultimate double protection defense for your skin, teaming up antioxidants, probiotics, along with hydrating ingredients to fend off environmental stressors and aggressors. You can use it as part of your daily skincare routine, but I've also designed it so you can use it while you're out and about, on an airplane, or whenever your skin feels dry, dull, or a bit worse for wear. All you have to do is spray it on. Check out Shield and Slay DP along with the rest of the Serve Labs skincare lineup at servelabs.co, servelabs.co, and you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at ServeLabs. Hello, welcome to He's Up but Something's Off. It is June, it is Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, and that's going to be the topic for today's podcast. I just happened to have read this news article, and the title is Big Brands Are Pulling Back on Pride Merchandise and Events This Year. And every year when it gets to Pride Month, there's always a little bit of chatter, at least in terms of some of the business news outlets, about whether companies are basically just profiting off of Pride Month. In my opinion, basically anytime a for-profit organization does any sort of PR or marketing, primarily it's to make more money. I was talking to a friend, not about Pride Month, but we were just talking about he had recently gone, fired/laid off from a company that he had worked like a very, very long time for, a tech company in Silicon Valley. And tech companies in Silicon Valley still are famous for all the perks that they give to their employees in terms of like Google, for example, had like free meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in at least at headquarters at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they all have all these micro kitchens where like it's a like very glorified snack area. It's got all these different types of drinks. There's like espresso machines and all these different types of snacks, blah blah blah. But so we were just randomly chatting online, and somehow we got into like that topic, and I remember saying to him, the company is not like a place like Google is not offering the free food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner purely out of the goodness of their hearts. It's all very calculated. And I think actually Google has admitted that, like it's for productivity reasons that they do the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is so that employees spend less time away from the office and away from their desk. If you can just, and having worked at Google for like several years, it is very easy. And this is what I did when I worked at headquarters, and I was at headquarters down in Silicon Valley for like several years. Go in early and eat breakfast. Now you're like going to the office early. Okay. Once you eat breakfast, well, you just go to your desk and start working, because it's, like you're already at work, you already have breakfast. There's like emails piling up or whatever. Get your day started. Okay, you go to your desk, your cubicle, wherever, you start working, and then you go to lunch, and there's no commute to lunch. You don't like leave the building. You don't leave the campus. It's very easy, especially if it's like a busier day, to like just take like 20 or 30 minutes out for lunch. And you can literally basically be just only 30 minutes away, literally, between leaving your desk and coming back, because the food is like in the same building or just like a couple of buildings over, and it's free. You don't need to drive, you don't commute, just walk over. You just go to the cafe, you just grab your food. You can very easily just like chow it down in like 10 minutes, and then you can just go back to your desk. So the amount of time saved by not having to like leave the campus or like leave the office for food is massive. And for the parts of my time there when I they also offered dinner at that particular campus. Dinner didn't start until 6 o'clock, so you would just like work until 6 ish because you're already working. So like it might be a busy day. You just kind of sort of keep working until 6, and 6 is when they open for dinner. It's all very calculated. It's not like a good or a bad thing per se. It's not like they are doing it to like, well, they are doing it to get you in the office earlier and to make you leave later. But pretty much everything a for-profit company does is somehow to make more money, increase revenue, increase profits, get the share price up, please the shareholders, or like, like whatever it is. The other secondary objectives is to like, comply with laws and regulations. Not that companies generally like those types of things because there's a lot of overhead to do that. And things that are good PR and also make you more money. It's kind of sort of like a win-win. So Pride Month, from a marketing point of view for many companies, well, this year might be a little different, but historically, companies will like change their website. They'll do some like Pride displays. They'll go on social media and be like, we celebrate Pride. We support the LGBTQIA plus community. Blah blah blah. It's all marketing. It's all just to make more money. But you know what? I don't blame them that much for it. I mean, for them, again, it's just to like, hey, everything that has to do with marketing is to make more money and to like have a positive image for the company, right? So when I read this article, big brands are pulling back on Pride merchandising events this year. I've never been a person that really cared for companies to go all out to like market Pride, but in some ways it feels like the companies are profiting off of my identity. And my identity isn't really there for these big corporations to like make money off of. I don't feel like victimized. I wouldn't go that far. But for me, do I care if a company is like super explicit and like very in my face or in everybody's face about how they support Pride during Pride Month? No, I actually don't. I kind of actually prefer if companies like don't do that. Because this is going to be slightly controversial for people that are like in the queer community, because I think very generally at a high level, there is a perception which probably could be reality, but like not every queer person feels the same about every single thing. So it's hard to generalize like all queer people feel this way or have to feel this way. I feel like very generally though, the queer community likes it when organizations in general show their support for the queer community. That's a very high level generalization. On the flip side of that, there's a lot of people in America, in the US, for example, that don't want Pride to be shoved in their face. And when companies do a lot of Pride Month marketing, and sometimes it's not very targeted marketing. I think the store Target was one of the like losers out of all of this, like flipping back and forth between being very like Pride forward during Pride Month. They used to have what they still do, but they've scaled it back. They used to have pretty prominent Pride merchandise and displays and signage during Pride Month in a lot of their stores, and they like scaled it back a lot. As much as I don't want to like walk into a Target or a Walmart or like whatever store and have like, I don't know, certain types of things like forced down my throat, I actually don't think companies need to go to the level where like they need to shove Pride down everybody's throats, which is kind of sort of like the controversial take, because I think very generally people think, oh, the queer community, they want organizations again to be very forward with their support for the queer community. And I'm just often think like pride and like being queer is not a religion. But so this is maybe like little apples to oranges, but I don't want like Jehovah's Witnesses showing up to my door. I don't want any sort of like religion shoved down my throat. Like I don't want to walk into a store or anything and be like, oh, they're celebrating like, I don't know, like I don't know how religions work. But but like I don't want I don't think it's necessary for companies to like just be shoving pride down everybody's throats. There are people, and there's a lot of people in America, for example, that they don't understand the queer community and they're not particularly supportive of it. And I am my personal opinion is like that's okay. I don't think I need everyone to be supportive of like the queer community, to like understand every nook and cranny of the queer community. I think it's fine for there to be people that they don't really get the queer community. They don't care that much about it. And they don't want to just like have it be like all rainbow flags everywhere when they go to a Target just to like get some groceries. I think that's perfectly legit. So I don't think any less of Target. I'm using them as an example, but like, I don't think I need less of them for like cutting it back, because yeah, I just don't think that's nice. As much as I don't want certain things shoved down my throat when I just go to a store and I just want to pick up like a pack of gum, I don't think we need to shove Pride Month down everybody's throats. So I was reading this article and it's like in my personal opinion, it's like I'm fine with this. I can see there's a lot of people especially those in the queer community, that think this is like a really bad thing. I don't see it that way. Yeah, I don't see it that way. I respect that there are people that they don't get queer. They don't get, they just get us. And that's fine. We don't need everybody to be like super supportive. I mean, I think where to draw the line is like, if someone or like a group of people are going like out of their way to suppress or restrict like the rights that queer people should have, I think that's where it is. But if there's like some stereotypical heterosexual person or family out there, and like they're not doing anything, they don't care about gay people, they don't care about queer people, they're not doing anything to like harm our community, they're not like going around picketing gays or whatever, they're not like they just don't care, like and they don't really want to like read about it, they don't want it shoved down their faces. I think that's fine. So I feel like being part of the queer community, sometimes it feels like we have to be very, very like pro pride. But like I mentioned before, just because someone's queer doesn't mean that we can't blankly label all queer people to have to like think and behave in a certain way and have to have the exact same values. Yeah, so I was reading this article and it's like I'm fine with these companies pulling it back, because I'm very much like, like you can do your own thing, and I want to do my thing. We can have like a basic level of respect that like we are as much of a human being as like anyone else, but we're just not all the same, and like that's fine. I get that there are a lot of people that don't want to see a bunch of pride flags, just when they are getting their weekly groceries. So, one of my earliest teenage obsessions was skincare. Instead of looking at toys in the kids section at the store, I was looking at moisturizers in the skincare section. As I grew up and navigated my sexuality, I saw that most of the beauty industry was aimed at feminine women, sometimes at masculine men, but everyone else was left out. It wasn't for someone like me. With Surf Labs, I wanted to create a fun skincare experience for everyone. I'm pretty sure your skin doesn't care how mask or femme you are or who you love, but I'm absolutely sure you need to take care of it. Check us out at surflabs.co, servelabs.co, and you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at surflabs. Actually, there have been some companies in the past where, well, okay, here's the thing. There are sometimes I see ads and marketing that the ad or the marketing is so bad that I don't want to support that company or like buy their products. Sometimes an ad is just so horrible that it has that effect on me. It's like, okay, this is gross, this is nasty. The ad is having like the opposite effect of what it should be doing, which is like wanting to get people to like have like a good impression of your brand and want to look into their products or services. I'm not necessarily like a company that is like super into like Pride only during Pride Month and like it and doesn't do anything else otherwise. Actually, maybe wouldn't have as good of a impression of that company versus a company that isn't so like. It's kind of like, okay, you're like being super hyped up about Pride only during Pride Month and I don't hear anything the other 11 months out of the year. It just makes it feel like you're purely only doing this for money. And that is it. You are just trying to get $1 out of me. And that's the only reason you're doing Pride Month. It's basically just like lip service. And that for me feels like a little gross. You know, sometimes you read about articles about, how like Chick-fil-A is like apparently like the owners are like anti-queer or something like that. I mean, that's like a slightly separate can of worms. But so sometimes you might not want to support a company because the owners of the company or the management of the company don't have values aligned with yours. I think that's okay. But I think when a company is only really showing support for the queer community during Pride Month, but during Pride Month, they're like going at it like really hard with the marketing for Pride. And then the other 11 months is like nowhere. That's where I'm like, okay, you're just here to turn $1. I don't want to enable that kind of behavior. I don't really want to support it, you know? So I have my own skincare company, which the ads I slice into this podcast, like that you skip through, the three of you, I know the three of you are skipping through it, which is fine. Whatever, I skip through the ads on every podcast I listen to. Hey, it is what it is. You know, it is Pride Month, and going into Pride Month, I was like, well, we're not fully launched yet. I've got a marketing agency that is working on kind of launching it like properly with, you know, professional marketing people, which is not me. But when I was kind of coming up with like when I was going through like forming the company and kind of working out certain strategies for like the business and things like that, part of it is like the marketing strategy. This is like before I even like started the company, when I was like kind of in the conceptual phase. And I thought about, we do need to do marketing. And one of the things I thought about is, would I, with my own company, want to do something in particular, some Pride Month specific marketing? And I think I came to the initial decision to like not. So on the website for Surf Labs, there is like a slide, you know, the homepage is like a carousel of different photos that like kind of rotate every X number of seconds. And one of them, it says, you know, we're a gay founded and owned company. So I feel like I'm not banging people over the head with it and like everything in terms of like the marketing and the website, but because I don't like it when companies do that, where like they only talk about Pride during Pride Month. I didn't want to be one of those companies because that's not what I value. So now that I'm on the other side of the table and I run a business of my own, I decided, no, I want it to be Pride. You know, like it's always Pride at that company. At Serve Labs, it is always pride because I'm a one person company and I'm queer. So like every day it's pride for me in some way, shape, or form. It's not just a month where we do some marketing and try to make some extra money. It's not like a holiday where I can like where the point of it is to run some sales and drum up more revenue. It's not. I don't want that. So there's no there's no Pride Month discount for Serve Labs if that's what you were thinking about. It's like, ooh, are you running some Pride Month discount? No, I'm not, because I don't like it. I'm not the biggest fan of companies doing that. So when it's my company selling stuff, I'm not gonna do it. I think with my OnlyFans though, maybe on a previous year, I may have ran like a discount during Pride Month. Maybe. I don't remember. Doing discounts and stuff at OnlyFans, it's like it's very with actual merchandise. Something that like something that's I think it's much more. It's very very common for companies to run discounts every so often. When it comes to OnlyFans, I think the psychology and the business of it is like a little bit different. There's a good amount of different takes on whether, as an OnlyFans creator, you should or should not be doing discounts every so often. There's some creators I know that they don't like doing discounts because once you start doing, first of all, any kind of regular consumer product, okay, like toilet paper, skincare, electronics, whatever, those are like established consumer goods that people expect to find on sale every so often. If you are even a company like Apple is famous for not really offering a lot of like discounts and sales or things like that. Even then, like the Apple Watch, for example, like Apple Watch gets discounted all the time. Like once a week, I keep on seeing that there's like $100 off the Apple Watch, not directly from Apple itself, not in an Apple store or from the Apple website, but from like Amazon or for like Best Buy or like some retailer. Okay. And same for like Macs. You can find like $50 off, $100 off, some sort of Mac laptop or computer or whatever. Apple doesn't offer it, but like retailers, obviously, most retailers of consumer goods are used to running sales all the time. But when it comes to OnlyFans, because it's such a relative to regular consumer goods, it's such a new type of industry, and it's not commonly accepted in the short lifespan that is the OnlyFans creator business, that everyone is going to offer discounts. There are some creators that don't offer discounts because they don't want to do that, because once you offer discounts, people kind of expect it. So I definitely have fans because I've talked to them and I know, and I try to survey and pull my fans every so often. There are fans that they'll wait till you have a sale and then they'll subscribe to you. The sale on the OnlyFans platform, when you do a sale, is only good for 30 days. The discount price is only good for 30 days. You don't get to adjust how long the discounted price is good. It lasts, like, because you sign up for like a month at a time. It's always, the billing cycles are always 1 month at a time. So you run a discount on OnlyFans. Let's say someone signs up, they get the discounted price for 30 days. And then afterwards, if they choose to renew on the same subscription, then they pay the regular price every month after until they choose to not renew, and then it expires. So there are people that would just do it for sign up for the discount. They'll wait till you have a discount, then they'll sign up. They'll only be there for 30 days, 1 month or less, and then they will cancel the subscription. And then they will do the same thing with a different creator. And it's very common for people to like creator hop. A lot of people, a lot of fans, they'll have a few or several different creators that they really like and that they will subscribe to. But, they will kind of rotate between those 3 or 4 or 5 creators. So 1 month they'll subscribe to creator A, the next month creator B, and then creator C, and so on and so forth. It's actually quite common. So that's like another pattern that I see subscribers have that. So they come on, they'll be subscribed once in a while. Once every few months, they will subscribe back. And that's a whole other. So that's why I kind of actually find OnlyFans very fascinating from a business point of view, because that kind of gives you a little glimpse of to like, you have to really put your business hat on and kind of think about how to like price your product, and the actual product. It's just like anything else. Like, someone's giving you money and you're offering them a service or a product. So in that sense, it's not really different from any other business. You have to think about the price point. You have to think about, your marketing strategy, your discount strategy. You have to worry about customer retention, keeping your customers happy. There are like different things I do on my OnlyFans to incentivize. Is that how you pronounce that word? To provide incentives for people to like turn the auto renew on so that they stay subscribed. So the auto renew people, they get an extra bonus video every single week. And you can also do like other perks for them as well. So, the people that are willing to stick with you, to have the auto renew on, to keep giving you money like continuously month after month after month, that's in a way those are like people that are really fans of yours. They're like big fans of yours. But a lot of people will do that other model where like, yeah, they like you, but they don't like you so much that they're going to give you 10 to 50 bucks every single month. That's the cost of Spotify. That's the cost of like a Netflix or whatever. So yeah, for me, I'm always like the people that renew every single month and keeps staying subscribed every single month. For me, like, okay, you guys are like the VIPs. You guys are like, I have to give you guys something extra. Yes, it's an incentive. When I announce to everyone, oh, if you auto renew, you got to get this extra video every single week. Yes, part of it is to create an incentive for people to turn the auto renew on. But the people that already have it on, it's like, in a way, it's like a thank you for them to stay subscribed every single month, because they're spending more money. They're spending their they're spending their hard-earned cash on your OnlyFans and not on the OnlyFans of like the hundreds of millions of other whatever, not millions, but like there's a lot of people doing OnlyFans now. So for the people that do the auto renew and they stick with me every single month, it's like, I just have to give you guys some extra. Like, there has to be some sort of token appreciation. And that's just how I choose to run that business. So there you go. So those are my, I was just like, oh, I read this article. I want to talk about this on the podcast today. And yeah, and I feel like my opinions on corporations doing Pride Month, I definitely have some friends, close friends of mine, where like we're kind of on the same page about that. But it kind of sort of seems like one of those things where like if I'm in like a big crowd of people I don't know that well, that I know they're like queer, but I'm not like close friends with them. It's almost something like I might be hesitant to say super loud. It's not necessarily something I would bring up in like at a dinner party per se, because it feels like there is a certain portion of the queer community that feel like companies should very explicitly demonstrate their support and commitment to the queer community. But again, when I see it's just Pride Month, that some companies go like, all out for it, and then it's just that month, I'm like, okay, you're just trying to make money. This is like very lip service. It's just very like token. It doesn't feel genuine. I don't want to give you my extra dollars. I'll spend it. I'll spend it on anything else, honestly. So there you go. Plug. I do have a Patreon, by the way. Haven't done a great job marketing my Patreon. But for example, I went to physical therapy today, and I just posted a little video that the physical therapist, she was asking me a bunch of questions. My first session with her. And then she says, oh, do you have your phone? I'm like, yeah, here's my phone. And she's like, oh, can I take a video of you with him? Like, sure. And she was just showing me, she was getting me to touch my toes. She took a video of me trying to touch my toes, which I can't, by the way. But to show me in that video that I'm using more of my back than my hips to bend down to touch my toes. Not that that's like necessarily like a good or a bad thing, but it's basically showing me that, my hips are not super flexible. And then that's kind of sort of related to why I'm actually at PT right now. But that little video that the therapist took, I just uploaded that to my Patreon subscribers. And just this past weekend, it was WeHo Pride. And didn't go to party or anything like that. I didn't want to like wreck my sleep and gym schedule, just having been back from EDC only for like a couple of weeks. But it was like Saturday afternoon, so like I just walked down there because I live in WeHo. It wasn't a long walk, just to like check out what the street fair was like. I was there for like about an hour, not to stay out late, and I just like took a bunch of photos and videos and things like that. I did a little post on Patreon with a little bit of that as well. So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff, a lot of very exclusive stuff that I post only for my Patreon subscribers. So again, if you would like to support me, you would like to support this podcast, maybe you have watched a bunch of my YouTube videos, doing the Patreon is a great way for you to support me and also get a bunch of exclusive content in return. And if you subscribe for 1 month and you don't like it, you don't have to come back. I'm not gonna like hunt you down to see who expired. This is not like this. Like even if someone just subscribed for like a few bucks for like 1 month and they peace out, it's like that is more than what most people will do, because I know how many people watch my YouTube videos. I see the views, and you know it's only like the 0.1% of viewers that will like leave me a little tip or like be interested in the page. Like that's okay. I don't expect everyone to like leave me a tip, but like if you can find in your heart to just leave me a few bucks here and there, I think the Patreon's a great way to do it, because just for like $3 or $6 or whatever a month, the cost of like a latte at Starbucks nowadays, you get a whole bunch of content. But if the Patreon doing a subscription seems like a little too much, I do have Buy Me a Coffee, which is an app that you can just, you know, quote unquote, buy someone a coffee, which is kind of sort of like a euphemism. Am I using that word properly? It's basically a way to tip creators. Okay. So that's not a subscription. That's just like a one-time thing. You can leave like $1, $2, $5. Very quick and easy. It's a one-time thing. It's not a subscription. It's just a one-time tip. But then also on every single YouTube video I have, the YouTube channel has a feature called Thanks, which is beside the like button. And then if you do the thanks, you can actually tip me direct from the YouTube channel as well. I have to plug these things more. I just have to plug more. If I don't advertise for myself, who is going to advertise for me? So that's why I always have to let you guys know. These are all the ways that you can give me your hard-earned cash. All right, that will do it for today. And until next week's episode, again, I hope you have a great start to the summer. Usually for most places, summer starts in June, except in the Southern Hemisphere. And I don't fully know how that works. And I hope you have a great Pride month. And until next week, bye, y'all.